Some things feel so good in the moment. A piece of chocolate in the middle of the night. A notification that lights up your screen and gives you a second of joy. Endless scrolling on Instagram without even realizing it. Or even an intense feeling with someone you don't even know why you got involved with. But let's be honest for a second. How many times after those little bursts of pleasure have you felt completely empty? Not just externally, but inside. That strange inner void like nothing can fill it. As if you just pressed a button to mute the pain temporarily. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." And it's painfully true. Through scrolling, eating, sex. Constant background music, binge, watching, meaningless texting. We're not really living. We're running from ourselves. Why are we so scared of silence? Have you ever gone just one day without your phone? No music, no chatting, no background noise, nothing extra. If you've ever tried it, you know what happens. Silence quickly turns into torture. But why? Because silence is a mirror. It reflects everything. The wounds you've covered up, the feelings you've been suppressing for years, that inner child who only ever wanted a hug, but was always met with, "Be quiet," or "Grow up." Fake pleasure is equal to artificial numbness. When you eat without being hungry, when you get into a relationship just to avoid loneliness, when you chase likes or messages just to feel seen, you're not really chasing happiness. You're chasing numbness. A temporary high like a painkiller that doesn't heal. It just dulls the ache. But here's the problem. These kinds of pleasures aren't like hunger or thirst. The more you get, the more you want. And in the end, you're left with something else, guilt. Not because what you did was wrong, but because deep down a part of you knows, this didn't nourish me. You didn't heal anything. You just distracted yourself from the pain. Let's talk about one of the deepest wounds, shallow, meaningless relationships. Let me say it straight. A lot of people believe that having relationships, many of them or casual sex, means freedom. It means pleasure. It means I am in control. I do what I want. But what's left after? That moment right after the hookup, that silence, that strange heaviness, that emptiness you can't quite explain. The truth is, a lot of these relationships aren't about love. They're about escape. Escape from loneliness, from pain, from feeling unseen. People just want a warm body to hold them for a night. But when the morning comes, the void inside is even bigger. Some guys jump from one girl to the next because they don't want to face their emotional wounds. Some girls get into relationships hoping, maybe this one will finally see me. But if a relationship starts with pain, it usually ends in pain. A bitter silence, a broken heart, a cracked self-esteem, and a deep haunting feeling, I was just a tool to fill someone else's emptiness. It's not that relationships are bad. It's not that sex is wrong. The mistake is using them as a way to hide an old, unhealed wound. The mistake is being willing to settle for anyone, just so you don't have to feel alone. And that's the most painful part, because you think you've found love, but you're only trying to forget. Just spending one more night with one more person who helps you avoid being with yourself. And in the end, it's you again, just you with more exhausted heart, a heavier soul, and a deeper sense of unworthiness. Remember this, when you lose yourself in a meaningless relationship, you're not finding love, you're losing you. There's a cycle. Pleasure, numbness, guilt, more pleasure. And slowly, silently, the cycle leads you to a place where nothing real makes you happy anymore. Not real friends, not a meaningful job, not even a success you once dreamed of. Because your brain is now addicted to the fastest pleasure, not to the deepest. Most shallow pleasures lead to pain. Why? Because they come from escape, not from connection. You think a funny video, an emotional message, a late-night chat, a random ice cream, or an impulsive shopping spree will make you feel better. And maybe in the moment they do. But they pass quickly. And what's left after? That familiar emptiness, that guilt, that feeling of falling behind in life. And then comes the real pain, realizing that the moment you felt good actually cost you your future. Fast pleasures steal your time like a thief. Every time you open Instagram for just 5 minutes, every time you eat because you're bored, every time you get into a relationship just because you're lonely, those 5 minutes, those empty chats, those moments where you feel like you're doing nothing serious are actually consuming your greatest asset, your time. You could have spent that time learning a new skill, or building a real connection, or writing just one sentence that came from your own heart, or simply sitting with yourself and asking, what do I really want? But what happened? You spent it on a quick hit of pleasure, and all that's left is a quiet little sigh. My dear friend, if you are still with me and think this content is useful for you, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue reading. Now imagine if you had used that time for something deeper instead of watching 2 hours of a show. You took a walk in nature and reconnected with yourself. Instead of texting someone just to kill time, you called an old friend and had a real conversation. Instead of endless scrolling, you read a page from a book that actually made you think. That's how moments turn into pleasure that helps you grow, not the kind that leaves you feeling empty. There are 2 kinds of pleasure. 1. Shallow pleasure. It comes fast and disappears even faster. And the end, it leaves you with nothing but exhaustion and guilt, like eating when you're not hungry, mindless texting, casual sex with no intimacy, chasing likes, or just trying to escape your own thoughts. 2. Deep pleasure. It takes time, but it stays. It leaves you with power, peace, and real satisfaction. Like creating something, learning something new, having a meaningful connection, or sitting in silence and actually understanding yourself. The choice is yours. Whether you realize it or not, every single day you're investing your time. The question is, are you burning that investment or are you planting it? When you spend your time chasing shallow pleasure, you're sharing your future. But when you move toward deeper pleasures, even if they're hard, you're building interest on your soul. So what's the solution? Waking up from the sweet artificial dream. 1. Delay the pleasure, just once. Your brain is addicted to now. It wants to feel good in this moment. But try doing the opposite. Don't eat that chocolate. Don't send that message. Don't press play on that video. And after a few minutes, you'll notice something powerful. Not pleasure, but pride. And that pride, it's sweeter than any cheap pleasure. Because it says, I'm in control, not the craving. 2. Chase pleasures that leave a footprint. If it disappears in seconds, it probably leads to emptiness. But a real talk with a friend, a book that shakes your mind a little, a workout that challenges you, those are pleasures that leave something inside you, a trace, a change, a memory that feels like growth. Say to yourself, I want the kind of pleasure that leaves a mark, not a wound. 3. Bring silence closer. Don't run from it. Don't fear it. Just one day, take a shower without music. Sit without your phone. Go for a walk without a podcast. See what thoughts and feelings rise up. Because that's the moment you start meeting yourself again. And that's where the realest pleasure lives, in being fully present with who you are. Remember, silence is the first step. After that, you show up. 4. Finish something hard but meaningful. Build a puzzle, start a fitness challenge, learn something new that frustrates you. Yeah, at first it will be annoying, but when you finish it, that feeling of, I did it. That's deep pleasure, the kind that lasts a lifetime. Train your brain to choose slow satisfaction over quick dopamine. 5. Build a connection where peace is the pleasure, not dopamine. When you are with someone, don't just chase excitement or validation. Can you sit in silence with them and still feel safe? Can you just be and still feel full? That's when pleasure becomes deep, not body to body, but soul to soul. Tell yourself, I want love that pacifies, not love that hides the pain. 6. Write down your feelings. Don't argue with yourself. Next time you're tempted by a quick hit, like sending that message, starting that meaningless chat, or reaching for food you don't need, just pause. Pick up a pen and write, what am I really feeling right now? What do I truly need? Writing is clarity, and when things are clear, you can't lie to yourself as easily anymore. In the end, say this to yourself, I want the kind of pleasure that leaves me feeling powerful, not ashamed. And every day, take one small step toward the kind of joy that doesn't get lost in the noise of the world. Simple, real, nourishing. Where does it all lead? It leads to this. You can sit alone in a room and feel, I'm enough. Not because you have something, but because you finally have yourself. That's when you realize that true freedom isn't, I can do whatever I want. It's, I don't need anything to feel whole. The kind of pleasure you stop chasing, that's the one that's truly valuable. And finally, if something inside you shook while hearing this, know that this isn't weakness, it's awakening. Awakening means you see now, and once you truly see, you can't go back to living blind. So now the choice is yours. Will you keep covering your pain with short-term pleasures? Or will you finally turn toward it, listen to it, understand it, and from it, pull out real peace? Don't forget, life isn't a joke, but it can be beautiful, and it can be joyful, if you choose the kind of pleasure that builds your future, not just your right now. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. If this video was useful to you, please subscribe to the channel and tell me your opinion in the comments.